Hello, everybody. Today I will continue the topic about the NKVD and I will talk about the NKVD chairman Genrikh Yagoda. Genrikh Yagoda was born in 1891 in Jewish family in Rybinsk in the European part of Russia. He went to gymnasium and early started to participate in revolutionary activities. As a teenager, he worked in the printing house. In 1912, he was arrested and sent into exile. Exile he spent in Simbirsk. There he did not participate in any revolutionary activities. At the same time, Russian revolution slowed down. Lenin was in exile abroad, Stalin was arrested and sent into exile in Russia. In 1913, to commemorate 300 years anniversary of Romanov dynasty, the Emperor Nicholas II signed an amnesty for some prisoners. As Yagoda's misconduct was insignificant, he was released. He tried to have a normal life coming to Petersburg. He became an accountant in the Putilov factory. In 1915, he was sent to the front of World War I. There he joined Bolshevik Party. He was injured and returned to Petrograd. After October Revolution 1917, Yagoda resumed revolutionary activities and worked in the printing house for the Bolshevik Party. He was chosen as a member of Petrograd Soviet and later a member of Central Committee of CPSU. Until 1919, he fought in Russian Civil War. Yagoda organized Red Army activities and even took a gun and participated in battles. In 1920, he became an executive secretary in VCK, the predecessor of the NKVD. From VCK abbreviation, all secret police members got their nickname, Chekist. Yagoda was responsible for VCK property and expenses. He was noticed by VCK leaders Felix Dzerzhinsky and Vyacheslav Minzhinsky. Yagoda became a second substitute of the NKVD chairman. He was responsible for upholding order in the army. He reported about situations in the army, officers' mood, sympathies, and discontent. At that time, army controlled by Trotsky was very powerful and was not scared of the NKVD. Yagoda reached the top of career in July 1934 when he was appointed as the NKVD chairman. He became a creator of Gulag, labor camps under supervision of the NKVD. One of the first gulags was construction of Belomor Baltic Canal. The construction was conducted by prisoners, about 100,000 people. The canal was completed very fast, less than in 2 years. Camp economy of forced labor, demonstrated its advantages for the party leadership. There was no need for preparation phase, no accommodation for workers, no infrastructure, and no payment. Everything was done by convoy, punishment, free labor force, and exploitation in any circumstances, without considering human losses. The canal was opened in August 1933. Along Politburo members, some writers and artists came to the opening. After it, famous Soviet writers Maxim Gorky and Alexei Tolstoy wrote a book in which they praised the work of Chekist, the NKVD, who attempted to change nature and criminal mindset. The writers adored Yagoda's humanity and tolerance in his work on human mindset correction. According to official statistics, during construction, 12,300 people died. Yet historians claim that more than 50,000 died building Belomor Canal. Camp economy had rapidly spread. The number of arrested and imprisoned grew. In 1930, it was 179,000 prisoners. In 1934, more than 500,000 people. The mortality rate increased due to the harsher conditions. In 1933, in Gulag camps, the mortality rate tripled in comparison to 1930. Yagoda was saying, "Destroy Gulag once and for all, and break his spine." In 1930 to 1931, more than 1,800,000 people were sent to special settlements, where they were forced to work. They were condemned to death. The NKVD brought them to deserted areas and left them without food, equipment, and accommodation. Yagoda participated in many repression campaigns: suppression of peasant uprisings, court trials on SR's Socialist Revolutionary Party, oppression of church, exile of intelligentsia. Yagoda's position changed in December 1934, when a member of Politburo, Sergei Kirov, was shot. Stalin used his murder to repress his political opponents, Zinoviev and Kamenev. Stalin ordered to find both of them guilty in killing Kirov. The NKVD and personally Yagoda worked on that case. He arrested many of Zinoviev's supporters, but he could not prove his involvement in murdering Kirov. In September 1936, Stalin wrote to Politburo members, Yagoda wasn't successful in his task of exposure of Trotsky-Zinoviev bloc. This meant that Stalin no longer favored Yagoda and his days were numbered. In March 1937, Yagoda was arrested and 1 year later was put on the trial. He was accused in organization of conspiracy in the NKVD, assassination attempts on Stalin and Yezhov, the new NKVD chairman, preparation of coup d'etat, murders of Kirov, Mezhinsky, Gorky, and his son. At trial, he found himself guilty in everything except espionage. On March 15, 1938, Yagoda was shot in Lublin prison. That's it for today. In the next video, I will talk about Nikolai Yezhov, the second NKVD chairman. Thank you for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Bye-bye.